Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm on Google Flights. I'm going to check LA to Bangkok, Sydney to Bangkok, and we'll do London. And we'll see if anybody has any interest in this. I'm on Google Flights. Now, I normally do miles and points, and, I value my business class tickets coming across an ocean. So I'm a miles guy, but I know many people are just keeping it simple looking for an affordable ticket. I've seen all kinds of things online, like flights are $3,000 to Bangkok and all, and that's true. You kind of have to be a little bit flexible. If you can only get on a flight after you get off of work Friday afternoon and you have to come back and be rested up to go to work 2 weeks later on Monday, well, it's going to cost what it costs, and that's okay. I mean, just factor that into your vacation. But if you have a little bit of flexibility and maybe you can leave on a Tuesday and come back on a Thursday, maybe we can save you some money. So let's go to Google Flights. The first thing I'm going to do is there are no direct flights from LA to Bangkok. There used to be. I don't really want to get into it, but I know Thai Airways has had issues with the FAA and the US, so no flights are allowed to come directly from Thailand, meaning Thai Airways basically, into the US. And I think vice versa. I think for now, anyhow, there used to be a Delta flight, LA to Bangkok, and I don't think that is allowed right now. So hopefully, all that paperwork issues will get straightened out in the future and we'll get some direct flights. But for now, LA to Bangkok, the best we can do is right here under number of stops, change it from any number to one stop or fewer. You really don't want to be bouncing around China or the Philippines, or worse yet, go whatever it is, LA, Japan, Japan, Sydney, Sydney, Bangkok, not to save $200. So let's put in LA, Bangkok. Today is, let me look at my phone, it's the 18th of July. So let's see when I plug in the dates. Okay, if we were to fly in the next couple of days, we can get a flight for, say, $1,410. So let's stay 2 weeks, 1410. Oh, let me back up here. Yeah, let me reset it. So if we took off on the 20th and, okay, it changed from 1410 to 1730. But let's do 1 week, 2 week. Okay, so a little over 2 weeks coming back on this Wednesday. Let's see what we get for $1,410. That's not bad. It's the American flight with their partner Japan Airlines, LA, Bangkok, with a 6 hour layover in Haneda. Not my favorite. Let's back out. I know there's a flight from LA to Narita, and then it's a 1 hour and 1.5 hour layover, and then on to Bangkok, and then returning, it's Bangkok Narita with a 1 hour and 5 minute layover. And I think it might be down here. So not unreasonable is to take off in 3 weeks. I mean, sure, you can buy a ticket tomorrow. You can see you can get it done for 1,400 bucks. It's not 3,000 or 9,000 or whatever it is. And again, I'm at Google Flights, and I'm gonna then go directly to the airline. Stay away from these third-party sites, Kayak, whatever it is. If you have a problem with your ticket, even if it's a non-refundable, if you're working directly with American Airlines and you're flying on their partner, Japan Airlines, and I would recommend buying the ticket through American, even if it's $20 or $30 more. I did both. You can get as crazy with this as you'd like. I mean, you can go to Japan Airlines and pay for it in Japanese yen if that's more advantageous, and maybe you'll save $22.50. And I did all that. But just keep it simple. Go to American Airlines, purchase an American Airlines ticket. It'll say American Airlines flight 1272. Well, guess what? There is no American Airlines flight that is going to Bangkok. You're going to be on a JAL flight, Japanese airline. I take that back. You could theoretically ride the American Airlines metal from LA to Tokyo, and then you're going to switch to a Japan flight to continue on to Bangkok. Don't worry about that. Just keep it simple. Buy your ticket at American. If you get sick, even a non-refundable ticket with a proper doctor's note, I mean, don't play games, but with a proper note, you can, at the very best, or the very best would be they'll give you your money back. And that happened. I was coming over with a friend, and she came down with a pretty serious illness and had a non-refundable ticket. And yeah, after some proper documentation from the doc who said she can't be traveling anytime soon. She has some medical needs to take care of. They gave her money back. Worst case scenario is they're going to give you a credit. If you buy that ticket through Expedia or whatnot, I'm not sure how likely they are to give you your money back for any reason. So I'll leave that up to you. If you want to save $20 at Kayak and risk it, that's fine. I've certainly taken those kind of risks before. But let's change this. Let's reset it. Let's say something reasonable like, okay, we want to take a trip and we're going to do it in 3 weeks. So we see some cheap fares here, August 12th. What's this 837 about? And we'll stay 2 weeks. So 1 week, 2 weeks, and then 1 day. I mean, we can go back in 2 weeks, pay $947, but if we can stay an extra 2 days, it's whatever that is, $50 cheaper. So let's go the 12th, come back the 28th, and let's see what it is. Okay, very good flight. We're taking off on Asiana Airlines, who their partner is United. So we'll find out if we're actually on a United flight to Incheon and then the Asiana into Bangkok. So let's click on it. I think it's the Asiana Direct, the A380, I think. But, okay, now it has a 5 hour and 5 minute Incheon layover going home. We take off from Bangkok at 2 in the morning. So let's click on it. The price is $842. Again, we'll be buying this Asiana ticket at United. You can buy it through Asiana, but there's a little bit of a language difference. If you were to get sick, whatever the case might be, to try to get that refund from Asiana might be a little bit more difficult than dealing with whoever you're going to deal with at United in Houston, Texas, or Chicago. And again, a credit on United may be more valuable to you than a credit on Asiana. So again, I would recommend buying the ticket through United, even though you're flying on Asiana. So let's see what these planes even are. And you can see here, book with Asiana, book with Expedia, book with Booking.com, blah, blah, blah. I'm surprised it doesn't give you the option here. Okay, there it is. Well, this is a little weird. See, book with United, it's an $842 ticket. Yeah, it is with this Ojo, and I don't know what that is. I wouldn't use it. Booking.com is $914. At Asiana, it's $873. So that's probably where you're going to have to buy this ticket, because if you go down here for whatever reason, if you book it with United, it's $10,567, which I doubt. I think you can probably go to United and find something similar to the $873 price. 9 out of 10 times they're within $10. I mentioned earlier, maybe $20. I certainly wouldn't pay $10,000 for this same ticket, so maybe this is a bad example. But let's back up and figure out what these flights even are. Okay, so we're taking off out of LA. We're going to Incheon on the Asiana A380, the big double-decker plane. We have a 2-hour layover, call it a 2-hour in Seoul. I'm sometimes ICN, I say Incheon, Seoul. I don't know, same. I mix them up. Here it says you're going to Incheon, but here it says Seoul, Incheon. From LA to Incheon, it's call it a 13-hour flight, 2-hour layover, and then a 5-hour and 40-minute into Suvarnabhumi, and then you switch to the Airbus 330. It's a wide body. It's not a double-decker. Also on Asiana. So this is all Asiana metal. Nothing wrong with that. We can see, call it $842. And if you were forced to, buy the ticket at Asiana. If it's $20 more, buy it at United. Just in the rare case there's going to be a problem. So there you go. There's a flight in 3 weeks from LA to Bangkok. Not terribly unaffordable. I get it. This isn't coach, on and on. But now let's take a look at London. So we're going to go London to Bangkok. When you click on the date here, it brings up the entire calendar. This is what we were dealing with LA, but you can just reset this. And I'm still in US dollars. I'm going to switch to currency to British pounds. Let's take a look at today is, again, it's July 18th. So reset. If we wanted to fly tomorrow, 973 pounds. And let's say we come back in 2 weeks. Now it says 940 pounds. I have a feeling this is going to be one of the Chinese airlines, which, no, even worse. This is a separate ticket. Oh, I'm still on one stop or fewer, but this has us going EasyJet, and let's see where EasyJet has taken us. Yeah, this is a mess. EasyJet, and then EasyJet again. Yeah, let's back out of that and keep this simple. You know what? I forgot. There are nonstop flights from London. So let's see if we can find a somewhat affordable nonstop. So London to Bangkok, nonstop. Forget about all this EasyJet to Zurich kind of thing. And let's see what we have. Flying, reset. So it's obviously going to be expensive in the next 5 days. Call it 2,140 pounds. But let's keep it reasonable and say we're going to go in 5 weeks. So right here at the end of August, I'm seeing some 749 pound. Let's click on that and see what it is. Hopefully it's the Ava nonstop flight, which is beautiful. So let's go 2 weeks. From August 26th to September 9th, 749 pound. Yes, Ava. London Heathrow to Bangkok, 749 pound, nonstop. Round trip, we leave at 9:35. We get in 12 hours later at 3:30 p.m. We're coming home, nonstop. Beautiful, beautiful. We leave 12:50. We get into London at 7:25. $749. The Thai flight, which is also nonstop, is almost twice as much, 1,563. So there you go. 5 weeks later on the EVA flight, and this is a little unusual. They call these freedom flights. Normally, EVA, however you want to say it, is based out of Taiwan. You're only allowed so many flights that do not originate in your home country. For instance, I know there's a flight from Bangkok to Hong Kong on Emirates. And my memory's not so good. Is Emirates out of Abu Dhabi? It's out of the United Arab Emirates, but that is one of their freedom flights. And I think you're allowed 7 of them. So this is obviously one of Ava's. Basically, because they're bringing that plane from London to Bangkok. And let's see what kind of plane it is. It's probably an A350 or something that can do that. It might even make it all the way to Taiwan. However, there's just not, well, no, it's a Boeing 777. There's just not as much traffic going from London Heathrow straight to Taiwan. So in this case, Bangkok is on the way. You know, it's kind of close to it. So they go London, stop in Bangkok, and then I guarantee they put a little bit more fuel in that plane and some more passengers on it, and then it continues on to Taipei, then turns around and does the same thing in reverse. So this flight you're getting on at 12:50, it probably took off 2 hours earlier in Taipei. So there you go. That's not totally unreasonable. London to Bangkok, 749 pounds. So now let's check out Sydney. I know Perth is a little closer, but there's probably more people in Sydney. Let's reset. Oh, let's change to Australian money. Change the currency to Australian dollar. Again, it's the 18th of July as I'm typing away. So if we were to go in 8 days, here's an 800. Well, let's put this. Okay, nonstop only. So if we took off in 8 days, well, it jumped from 800 up to 2,000, but let's change that. So 1 week, 2 week. Okay, 2 weeks, 875 Australian dollars. Let's see what we got. Well, that's no good. This is an Air Asia, which I'm fine with Air Asia. It's a discounted airline. If you play by their rules, it's not that bad. But yeah, I would rather go on Thai Airways or Qantas. But 875 is better than 1,154. Let's see what it is just for the heck of it. Oh, that's unusual. You're going Air Asia and then you're coming back on Thai Airways. I don't know. Okay, there is an Air Asia plane. I know they have a couple of wide bodies. What is it? It's I don't even know what kind of plane it is. An XJ 383. I thought it was a I thought it was some kind of an Airbus. I don't know. But let's back out of there and find something a little cleaner than Air Asia. That's a long 9-hour flight on Air Asia and kind of narrow seats. So let's forget about flying in 8 days and find something a little more reasonable. Come on, fares, where are you? Sydney to Bangkok. There's the fares again. Okay, we are July 18th. Forget about this Air Asia. $870. Sounds nice, Australian, but we're on that Air Asia bit. So let's call it 977 Australia. So let's see what this is. Hopefully it's just a nice clean Thai Airways or a Qantas. So that's taken off on the 31st. Let's come back 2 weeks and 1 day later on the 15th. It says $870. Well, there's Air Asia again. Let's try to get rid of Air Asia. We can filter it here. Let's just put in One World, SkyTeam, and Star Alliance. That'll eliminate Air Asia and see what's happening. Now we go back to the fares. Reset. Okay, it's still showing that 977, which I think is an Air Asia. So let's take a look at 2 weeks from today. 1, 2. And then coming back in 2 weeks. So August 1st, coming back August 15th. It says 977 Australia. Okay, no Air Asia. Good, I got rid of it. So now we are departing Sydney at 10 in the morning on Thai Airways. It's a 9-hour and 20-minute direct flight into Bangkok. We're coming back. Take your pick. 8:30 in the morning or 10:20 p.m. Same price. Usually it's not the same price. Let's say most people want to not do the red eye, so this might be 300 Australian more. But in this case, they're both 977. Leave at 8:30, leave at 10:20. They're both non-stops. I don't know what this plane is. Let's look. It's an Airbus A350, so a brand new plane. And I would book this right at Thai Airways. Again, why would you book it at Expedia and actually pay a little bit more money? I can't remember if Thai Airways is not a part of Qantas. Qantas is part of American Airlines and One World. I don't know. I don't mean to add confusion with the don't book it at Asiana or Thai, book it at United or American. It's just, if it's the same price, it's just as easy. And you can book it 9 out of 10 times online. It's not really a problem. Now, a lot of times when you call in and book these international tickets, they'll want to charge you $50 or whatever. Just ask for a waiver. 9 out of 10 times, they'll waive it. Just say, hey, I've been working at this online and I'm kind of messing it up and this is an important international trip and it's expensive. I want to make sure I do this correct. If you're polite and a reasonable person, they do have the power to just waive those little $50 fees and all. So don't be afraid to politely ask. So there you go. Let's take a look at what some other choices. This is 940 Australian. Let's see how far out into the future we can get that price down. Okay, there's the fares. So let's reset it. I'm seeing a lot of 977s pretty much all through August. So let's look at September. No, it got more expensive in September. Let's look at October. 977. So that it is what it is. Coming Australia to Bangkok nonstop. 977 appears to be your best deal. Just for the heck of it, let's take a look at this 977 way off in the future in November. And traveling Sunday is a bad idea. But let's travel Sunday and go home on Tuesday. It's a bad idea because everybody does it and it's expensive. So this is whatever that is, 16 days. Same flights. It's the Thai Airways. Now, if you're a Qantas person, for not much more money, you can fly. Well, this says by Finnair. Let's see what that is. Qantas and Finnair. Qantas, Bangkok Airways, operated by Finnair. Okay, so that is one of those freedom flights again. So there's obviously a Finnair flight from Bangkok to Sydney, and then it turns around and flies from Bangkok back to Helsinki, I would guess, because this is the flight. It's a Qantas ticket, but you're going to be plane and crew by Finnair for Qantas. No big deal. But if you're a Qantas purist, and I love Qantas, I want to fly Qantas, don't be surprised when you're stepping aboard a Finnair flight. So there you go. There's 3 examples using Google Flights and getting on over to Bangkok. So maybe I'll do this. I leave some comments if this is interesting to you at all. I mean, maybe even throw out some cities. What I'm not going to get into, I did a whole video on how it's cheaper to book your ticket from, let's say you live in El Paso, Texas. You have to book the ticket from Los Angeles to Bangkok. You can't book it from El Paso to Bangkok unless you want to spend an extra $1,500. I clearly showed how the airlines kind of clip you that way. There is a flight from El Paso to Los Angeles to Tokyo to Bangkok, and it's XYZ price. I don't remember what it was. Let's call it $2,500. I don't exactly remember. Again, flying from El Paso to Bangkok, round trip. Now, if you were to fly from the same exact planes from Los Angeles to Tokyo to Bangkok, and then buy a separate round trip ticket from El Paso to Los Angeles on the exact same planes they're charging you $2,500 total for, it was $200 for that El Paso to Los Angeles round trip, and then it was $1,100, I think, for the other leg. So $1,300 total instead of $2,500. To me, that makes perfect sense to buy 2 round-trip tickets, but I received a lot of comments saying, yeah, but you don't understand how international tickets work, and I don't. I've visited like 100 countries, but okay. I understood what this person was saying. They were totally worried about missing their connection and the airline not honoring the ticket and on and on. And I kind of went in circles with this person and said, well, just fly the night before if you're so terrified you're going to miss your connection. And it was like a 4 or 5 hour connection. So it's not like, I mean, I looked and there were 3 flights out of El Paso to go to Los Angeles. So if you missed the first one, you had 2 more. I get it. Maybe there's going to be thunderstorms and you can't predict weather. You just have to do the best you can. You buy these tickets and you do the best you can. If you're all on an American ticket, now again, if you're on a Japanese airline ticket, they're probably going to have a little less empathy if you're missing your flight from El Paso to Los Angeles, where the American might have a little bit more flexibility. We get it. You're on an American flight, round trip, El Paso to LA, and then you're going international on an American ticket with our partner Japan Airlines. So we're going to help you out here, even if that is we're going to slide you onto the plane the next day. I really wouldn't worry about it that much. But if you're totally worried about it, yeah, pay the airlines the extra $1,500 and they have to get you there. And the other issue is this person said, well, I like to check my bag straight through in El Paso, and then I just want it to be there in Bangkok. Well, good luck with that. I mean, I haven't checked a bag in I don't know how long. I've probably checked 10 bags in my life, and probably 3 of them didn't show up. So it's not the greatest average. You start mixing in El Paso, Los Angeles, Narita, and Bangkok. That's a really good reason to take a carry-on bag. And I mean, people wash their clothes all over the world. So I'll leave it up to you. If you want to pay the extra money and risk the carry-on, absolutely. Book that ticket from Des Moines, Iowa, straight through to Bangkok. Otherwise, look at Los Angeles and then figure out how to get to Los Angeles on your own. I'll say the same thing about London. You know, if you're in Manchester, whatever the case might be, get yourself to London. I don't care if it's on an EasyJet or Ryanair or whatever it is. Worry about the main cities. The same in Australia. If it's Sydney, if it's Perth, whatever it is, that main non-stop flight into Thailand. And they do. I was going to say if they have direct flights from Perth. I remember because my buddy's from Perth, and I guess they had, for the miners, they had flights going directly into Perth, and then they stopped. So he was real happy when they started that, I believe it's a Thai Airways straight into Perth. Anyhow, if you're from whatever XYZ small town and they're going to fly you on Virgin Australia from here to there and then get you to Bangkok, concentrate on the major flight and then see if it's not an extra $100 to get yourself, over to Sydney or whatever the case might be. If you're a bit of a worrier, go the night before. I mean, go at 2 p.m. the night before. Relax. Get yourself a hotel in Los Angeles and Sydney and London, whatever the case might be. Wake up nice and early and get yourself to the airport for that 12 noon, 1 p.m. flight. Not a problem. So there you go. I hope this helps somebody at least have an idea of what's going on right now. And I don't know, maybe I'll do this every couple of weeks. I like keeping an eye on the different flights and all. So it's fun for me. Throw some other cities out there, major cities. Don't give me Kalamazoo, on and on, or I'm going to tell you, get yourself to Los Angeles. But if it's whatever it is, a city in Germany or whatnot that I haven't considered, throw it out there and we'll take a look. All right. Hey, take it easy.